Howdy, howdy, howdy. Well, let me find my camera. Get it turned on. Alrighty, here we are, another Thursday night. Yeah, everything looks like it's running all right. Alright, we got a few people popping in over here on the chat. We got some watching. You, Ferris, Michael, C.L. Curtis, Shanes, Michael Conley, Michael Albertino. You need to leave and come back. 20 minutes, you're too early. What's up? Hey, Brad, how you doing? Adrian, how was that train show last weekend, Saturday? I couldn't make it to. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Johnny?
Not too bad. If I can get everything to stay still on the screen, I'll be a lot better. Get everything to stay still. But,
Are we live yet?
yeah,
Oh, we are? Oh, wow. Cool.
yeah, yeah. Glanced at the intro and realized I wasn't at the end of it. I turned it off.
Very good show yesterday with Big Bill and Andy.
Yeah. Hey, Dwight, how you doing? Yeah, Adrian, that one day show's pretty much just the locals. I used to go to it when they were over at the Gwinnett Civic Center, and that one over there was pretty bad. They just brought a lot of junk in, and it cost more than the original price. James, how you doing? I'm glad you liked it, Michael. He said caught Big Bill's show on the replay. Excellent. Was like a group therapy of mile railroaders. It gets better as we go on. Hey,
Oh,
Possum,
yeah.
how you doing?
I definitely got the sense of that, and we've all been there. I've been there 2 years, a year ago.
Yeah.
I went from 11 by 13-foot layout around the walls, and I thought that a double deck would work, and no. And then I just decided to do a just around the wall layout, and with the peninsula in the middle. That was so time consuming, and I know I was renting an apartment. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy that layout as much. And then the apartment came to me with the area code, with the codes saying I can't block the door, can't block the window. They actually helped me downsize, and actually felt better doing that. So I ended up with a 6 by 9 foot layout, or 7 by 9 foot layout, and it was actually easier to operate and easier to build. And
Mm-hmm.
then I relocated here to Arkansas from Tennessee. So um, simple is better.
Yeah.
I'll be doing the same thing on this layout,
Yeah.
just way more simple than a lot of track, and try to incorporate more scenery.
Yeah, it's easier to get stuff up and running. Hey, Leland, how you doing? Hadn't seen you in here for a little while. Hey, Lloyd.
No, Lloyd.
Nope, still can't hear you. Get the quarters out. Start putting them in the slot. Let's see here. All right, Jerry. He's been a little comical tonight. Somebody must have put 50 cents in his pocket. He said, evening, one track mind, buddies. You need to expand your horizons there, Jerry. Jerry, try double line. Hey, Jeff, he just popped in. All right, a couple have responded out there in the chat. Any of the rest of y'all have thoughts about Big Bill's show last night? Hey, New Ferris. Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty good series. He's got some interesting guests that are going to be coming on over the next few shows.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that show. The first one was really interesting. I'm really looking forward to what he's doing with that peninsula because I saw the layout in person. So I hung out with him Christmas Eve actually with Big Bill a couple of years ago, and to see the layout in person, it's pretty impressive. It's a very impressive layout. I mean, it's a beautiful layout, highly detailed, and even when he was talking about that little yard section that he's rebuilding, every time he talked about it, I could tell he was in it, but against it at the same time. Like he knew inside that it wasn't it wasn't right.
Yeah. So, you got voice now, Lloyd? No. No, still can't hear you. You forgot to charge them. Oops.
You hear me now?
Okay, now
Yeah.
we can.
Okay. No, I saw Bill's layout also, was it last year? And I really enjoyed his layout. I don't know why. What's the main reason why he's tearing it apart? Because he doesn't like it?
Just the peninsula part. The yard doesn't work for what he wants or what he's looking for, and I haven't spoke to him yet about that. Um, so I'm kind of interested. I was going to call him today actually, but I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, while you run, how you doing? Yeah, Leland, I was trying to get to the show on Saturday, but it just wasn't going to work. But I do plan on being at the Piedmont show, which is going to be in March, I think around 14, 15. So I do plan on being at that one. Here lately, my name's been spelled several different ways. They've been getting all the letters in there, but they move them around.
Well, one thing for sure is that for me, bigger is better.
Okay. Yeah, hey, it
Always.
works. It does work for people.
Like I said on the chat, as long as you know what you're getting into, money wise, time wise, space wise, I mean, if you're just getting into it and you just want a big layout and you don't know what you're getting into, yeah, believe me, you'll get pretty much fed up and soon.
Right. And if you're planning it and planning it and planning it, designing and designing, when you start the layout, you know exactly what you're getting into. If you know right from the get go.
Because Bill, the track planner, did my plan, and I think while I was building it, we did 3 modification, and it's built exactly like he had planned, except for those 3 modifications, but they're pretty small. One was I decided to do a gorge in one area, so I mean didn't really matter. And I had a container yard, and I decided to scrap it and called Bill and said I need a yard in that area instead of a container yard because containers did not exist in the 70s. So that was another. That was the second one, and the third one was my brewery. So, and the rest is pretty much as is. And like I think Robert was saying, is like he lost his mojo. um, you know, a lot of times when I come downstairs, the first thing I want to do is do some wiring because I've got so much to do, and I really, really don't feel like it every time. So I'll work on another project. I'll work on buildings. I'll work on scenery. Um, so I don't get fed up at all.
Right, there's always something you can do, and if you're, it's like me trying to do detail parts on a locomotive. If I just take one little thing at a time, it will get done, and I'm not stressing about it, not being overwhelmed by it. If you're thinking about A, B, and C, just worry about A because eventually B and C will come. Because everybody tries to rush to get everything done. Because everybody wants to start running trains. For me, I want to start scenery right away, but I need to get the first hassle, which is wiring, and I hate wiring. So for me, it's if I have something that's a little more simplified to what I thought in my head, what will work, and it will work, but it's way too much. And I went from doing like 8, 9, 10 different kind of industries. Now I only have four major ones, one main line, and maybe two runarounds, and sidings for the industries, and that's it. I'll be happy with that because it's simple. It'll be easy for me to learn and gain the experience rather than fighting all these different yard tracks, all these different industries, trying to fit everything into the small space that I have, and then rushing it and trying not to cut corners doing it, and then be miserable. I've been there with my O scale layout when I first started. That was my first layout was an O scale, and I kind of did that because I just rushed to get it done to make it look nice, and then nothing ran, and I gave up on it.
Mm.
Yeah, New Ferris said that that's what I did. Plan for 6 months and build 6 months on the first layout, 3 months on the new expansion. Let's see. Yeah, Dwight goes, when I built my N scale underneath HO, I became 7 or 8 because one, I can't see it now, but somebody else said they've had N scale since they were 7 or 8. So,
So does that mean that Dwight was running under his layout, no problem?
yeah, I guess so. Uh,
But Joey, I remember what was it? About 2 years ago, I started working on one section of scenery because I just wanted one section to be finished so that I would get motivated. And once that little section, let's say 8 feet long, was completed, then I go, okay, now I can go back and do more track work and, of course, skip the
wiring.
wiring, skip the wiring.
Yeah. By the way, that building looks really good that you put up to where you transition off the layout over onto the work track at the
Oh,
workbench.
yeah, I could say it's pretty much finished. I just took a picture today and posted it on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it really looks good. I like it. Now I just have to do the scenery around it so I can finish that area.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. I've been going around now. Now I just have to finish my town. So that's once that's done, I've got all the light posts ready. They've they've been wired. The resistors have been added. So
Yeah.
I just have to do the final wiring if you want. That's the part where I have to go kind of under the layout.
You hadn't worked on that Coors plant in a while, have you?
The what?
Coors, the
Oh,
brewery.
my brewery. Oh, I've put that aside for now because I need to go and buy another sheet of styrene,
Yeah,
a 4x8 sheet for $18.
yeah.
It's just I have to drive about an hour to go and get it.
Uh,
For
So,
$18, that's well worth it.
oh
You
yeah.
could, you could build so many buildings out of that one 4x8 sheet.
Well, I've got 18 industries, and I must have used, well, I probably built about 6 or 7 scratch building, and of course the brewery, which I started, that took almost half a sheet,
Yeah.
and I still have like 40 odd walls to build, so I should be okay. Oh, Johnny, did you see I posted the clinic that I did at the NMRA for building interiors? It's on our Facebook page.
no, I haven't seen that yet. How'd it go?
Oh, it went well.
That's good.
I was surprised. So many questions, and well, we laughed a lot because I was telling them that you could get cheap people from China, cut their feet off because they're too tall. You have to repaint them because they've got yellow shoes, yellow pants, yellow shirt, yellow jacket,
Yeah,
and a little dot on the top of the head for their hair. Um, so yeah, it went very well. And I presented different ways of doing interiors. Like
uh,
for example, you could draw the interior. You could, of course, you could buy the roomette, which I did a presentation on that. Um, buy a lot of stuff from Shapeways. It all depends how much money you want to spend, or do everything from scratch.
yeah,
It's like my barber chair there. For instead of spending $8, it cost me what 15 cents of styrene, a bit of paint, and that's it.
yeah. I still see that little patch up here of hair that's missing where you was pulling your hair out while you was building that.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't cut myself with the knife.
I
Yeah.
I was
No, I
cleaning
mean
up.
you've got a couple of them there. Well, that barbershop, was it the barbershop, or I think you did a restaurant or something. It was kind of a combination. You printed part of it on paper, and the other part you built the tables and stuff.
Yeah, well, there's the pizza place, and there's the Tim Horton donut shop. Uh, what I did is I bought from Shapeways. I just bought one kit from Shapeways, which had tables and chairs and
Yeah.
stools, and I was able to do 2 buildings with it. I didn't buy much from Shapeways, but it was worth it.
I like finding stuff around the house that I know can be thrown out, but use it. And it's, I mean, everybody, well, not everybody, but I know I'm on a budget. So I try, if I'm going to build something, I try to find stuff around the house and try to see what I could come up with and what it would look like. Um, stuff for either trees or um, just riffraff and or debris from box cars or um, in order to get the scrap metal for one of my hoppers, I cut up a big tin foil that was about to be thrown away in the garbage. Took it, just cut it a million pieces, and build a load out of it.
We'll catch you later, Curtis. He just said he popping out, and Chris Reed just popped in. How you doing, Chris? And Tim over here on the panel just popped in.
Yep, just got home.
And Andrew from Down Under just came in. How you doing, Andrew?
About time that old coot started showing back up.
All right, don't get him started.
Um, yeah, Charles Charles Kirch was wondering how to find Shapeways on the internet. Type
Shapeways.com.
shapeways.com. And do a search for HO. Well, if you're into HO, just do a search for HO stuff.
Or 187th scale.
185, yeah. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, I am doing much better. I'm all healed from all 5 surgeries, but the foot's still healing up, and skin's still growing. But I have the flu, so I'm trying to battle that now.
Yeah, so you still have to wear the hat, cover the stitches on top of the head on that surgery.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to go like this just to help.
What was that one, Johnny, where they put his brain back in?
I think they were adding to it.
Every time I went to the doctors, he always had a new student with him, and I'm like, I feel like Frankenstein. And you have like 5 people crowded around my foot, going, "Oh, look at that! Look at that!" And I go, "It's a foot."
You only had 5? Man, the whole surgery room when I had my foot surgery was covered in people and cameras and everything else because they filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
For school purposes. I told him, "Does that give me a discount on the bill?" He just laughed.
He laughed and then said, "No."
No, he told the anesthesiologist put him out.
Yeah, you're going to use me as educational purposes. At least give me a discount. Come on.
Yeah.
Here, Johnny. I just found my picture. That's the picture I took today.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice job as always, Lloyd.
Eric joined us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he slips in from time to time. Hey, Robert, he's popping in now. Oh, Marty's here now, too.
Marty!
He says, "Stinking hot and humid here today."
It's always hot.
Yeah, you got to remember, Joey, for him, though, 50 degrees is freezing.
Yes.
Adrian wanted to know if that's got a gravel roof, Lloyd.
Pardon?
Oh, you're answering him in the chat.
It's a tar roof.
Yeah. Did you see Marty's? Lloyd?
Yeah. Egg sandwiches? Come on, you can do better than that. That's a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, William A. just popped in. How you doing?
Oh.
A client of mine just asked me, "Hey, would you like to do 100 well cars and 140 containers and 50 trailers to weather?" Sure, of course. I just finished decaling 10 well cars for a client. I'll tell you one thing, those decals are tiny. It took me about an hour to do each car.
Yeah, Ralph, I think he's about finished with that in-scale stuff he was doing. He's glad of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he's about ready to lose his marbles on that, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I'll send him an email off my son's computer. That way he won't know it's me. I've got 50 in-scale box cars. How much you charge me to weather those? Uh-oh. What we got here, Eric?
That's what I'm working on. It's going to be a hidden staging under it. You can see where the staging would be behind that wood there.
Ah.
In the top of our patch.
You're going to be able to reach that?
What?
I said, are you going to be able to reach it?
Well, this will flap up, open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you secure that down and put trains in there, they're going to derail.
Knowing my luck, it probably will.
Murphy's Law.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Put re-railers on it
Yeah.
at the end, at the exit.
How come it'll derail?
Your turnouts to cause them to derail.
Wheels, couplers.
Wheels get out of gauge.
I thought you meant like something else, like something wrong with the way I'm designing it.
No, just it could just go off the track randomly. It could run around 10 times around perfectly until you put a camera by it or you start filming. That's when it derails too.
Sorry, Lloyd, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
There you go. He just popped in. Oh, I gotta do this. Andrew said he went hunting last night. He got 4 rabbits and 1 fox. So I guess they still allow people to hunt in the grocery stores or meat markets. I'll get a nasty gram from Andrew now.
Adrian goes camera shy trains. Derail on cue.
I'm laughing at Andrew.
He's looking at the camera. Derail. Ruin his video.
Yeah, Ralph just popped in. He said, yeah, it's called Murphy's Law.
Is Ralph going to be on tonight?
Huh?
Is Ralph going to be on the group cast tonight?
I have no idea.
Ask him.
He said no. Like he's got family in anyway. I figured I'd get him in here. What'd you say, Andrew?
I'm all right till I seen your rugby play.
I went ahead and took advantage of that Badger deal on a compressor last night.
It's a good deal, man. I just don't have the money for it right now.
I was reading rules on it. Said you're supposed to get an email from Badger so you can get that discount.
According to the link Ralph posted, it, and you can go directly on their site, and if you go up to the top of their website and click deals, it takes you right over there to it.
All right.
So you have to wait 6 months, or after you make your order, you'll get your credit card will go ahead and get billed, but then you gotta wait forever for them to actually confirm the shipping on everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ralph's
sure.
saying
Well,
just use the link.
yeah, I had a good school the other day. Went past the building site and had that blue phone, really good stuff. I asked the guys where they'd buy it from, guys, wanted something not a railway. And he said, oh, there's a dozen sheets of it over there you can have. We don't need any more of it. It's only waste for us. 8x4x6 brand new sheet. I'd already been made up, bring you around and come and get them.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I told the guy, why you might want to use on the next side? He said, it costs them money to store it. And then they just get rid of it. It's more of a hassle keeping it than it is giving them away. I said, thank your mother for the rabbits.
Yeah, while you run, 4 is he's asking, can anyone tell me if there is a difference between Tester's dull coat and Mod Podge matte? He said, I've never used dull coat and Mod Podge matte. Seems to have a slight sheen to it that he wanted to avoid. Dull coat doesn't have a sheen.
No.
Mod Podge might
that's
have.
the whole point.
The matte clear for Rust-Oleum does as well. When I use it in the between layers. But when I completely finish the model, I use Tester's dull coat. It really
Yeah.
dims it down because it doesn't leave a shimmer or sheen.
Well, they're two different things used for two different purposes. Dull coat is actually to take that plastic sheen off of models, is what it's made for.
Yeah.
Where Mod Podge matte medium is actually a artist's medium for thickening the paint, I believe. So you can actually get texture in your paint.
Yeah.
Now, a friend of mine, when he does a lot of his models, he actually he does his own scales, by the way. Whenever he's doing anything, he puts actually corn flour in his paint. And then he sprays it on with his airbrush. And it gives it that really old look. It has had about a dozen coats of paint.
Yeah. Andy, he used something similar to cornstarch to give his concrete paint a texture when he's doing some concrete footings on a bridge, I think it was.
William says he uses a quick hit of dull coat on plastic figures to get rid of the unnatural shine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And people forget you can weather figures too.
Yeah.
And everybody looks perfectly clean.
Well, especially if you're running a steam area and you got engineers and stuff like that, and rail crews walking around in your yards and stuff, they're going to be dirty.
Yeah.
You know, or if you're modeling, you know, not necessarily for trains, if you're modeling a shop, you know, you got a hot rod that you modeled and you got a shop there. Your mechanics aren't going to be spick and span. They're going to have oil on them. They're going to have oil streaks on their face. You know, they're going to have grease. Their uniforms aren't going to necessarily be clean.
Right?
It's
You know,
like
they're going to be.
People forget also animals. Animals are dirty too. If you're modeling a farm, you know the sheep are filthy, pigs,
Yeah, I can remember
cattle sometimes.
Yeah, Ralph told me that was talcum powder that Andy was using. Give it a texture.
Yeah, getting back to looking grimy. When I was a kid and we still had steam drains in Australia, people used to wear overcoats, very thin ones, buttoned right up the neck to stop the smoke and the soot from the steam trains coming into the carriages and dirtying their white shirts. So
Yeah.
their coats covered in the soot and the smoke. When they got off the station, they'd have to take it off, fold inside out, they had a nice clean clothes on underneath. We had to do that with our school uniform too.
That's a lot of reason why, like here in the States, they used to wear coveralls. And I'm talking to actual coveralls, not the overalls, but the coveralls. because there is a difference between coveralls and overalls.
Yeah, overalls has a bib. Coveralls is full suit.
Yep. Trust me, my hands are still, even as much as I wash them, they still get stained from the carbon in the oil from the diesels. Because the oils today are meant to retain soot. And that soot stains.
We've been doing a lot of screen printing with kids lately, and no matter how much you try, you can't get the printer's ink out of your fingers. You just got to let it more or less wear out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like when I was working with railroad equipment. Of course, I'm wearing gloves, so my hands are pretty clean, but my arms are get filthy. And you constantly go like this every time you go to a bathroom.
The best thing I found working as a diesel mechanic to get clean is Dawn dish soap.
Yes.
When I was building fiberglass boats, the guy used to laugh at me. The very first thing I'd do when I got to the factory was I'd go there with this big bin that had talcum powder in it, which you used to use to thicken things up with. And I'd rub it all over me, down my shirt, down in my hair, on my face, down my leg, and me private parts, all over the talcum powder. And they used to laugh. And I'd say, well, talcum powder gets into the pores of your skin and stops the fiberglass dust getting in there. You don't itch. And when you go home, you just have a cold shower, it all comes off and you're good to go. They go home, have a hot shower, the pores open up, fiberglass goes into the skin, and they itch all bloody night.
Yeah, we have the same. We kind of have the same problem because our rain trays and stuff are made in hoods, and some body panels are made out of fiberglass. So if you lean on them, with your bare arm, a few minutes later,
Yeah, give yourself a good rub down with talcum powder.
Right? I'm allergic to that stuff. I made that mistake. Ended up in the hospital because I forgot to off from using wall insulation, all the fiberglass in there. It was like 100 degrees outside. And of course, they got all of my pores from sweating. And that was it.
Dave, BNSF in scale, he said he uses Del Coke some days on his shiny bald head. I just keep some 100 grit sandpaper in the bathroom.
I hope that was turtle wax you were supposed to use.
Now, mosquitoes complained about it, made them fly too far out.
Then they slide right off.
Oh.
So I collect a lot of pre-war O scale, and don't have a layout for it, but I like them. And I finally going through all my boxes. And I finally found this one. I don't know if I ever showed anybody this, but that's old Baby Ruth from the late 30s or early 40s, late 30s, I think.
Yeah. Huh.
That's a Lionel.
Yeah.
Good old template.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
This one too, the original American Flyer, but it has print underneath. It has the what is it? I can't read it here. Yeah, A.C. Gilbert.
Yeah, my sister still got bits and pieces of my very first train setup I ever had when I was a kid, from the 50s.
A lot of people know the difference between the O scale and the S scale pre-war.
There was actually an article discussed in Model Railroader magazine this month about S scale and how it started.
S scale is very, very popular. It's becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, it's hard to
an
find
in-between
stuff.
Scale, and it's large enough where you can see a lot of more detail and work with it. But it's not as big as O scale. I mean, it's not that far off, but the 2-track is very realistic for folks who want realism. If I had room, I'll definitely go to S scale.
Yeah, but you're gonna have a hard time finding stuff for S scale.
Oh, I know. It is a beautiful scale, though.
And you got to pay an arm and leg for it.
Yeah. Oh no, I think Tim lost his. Eric always keeps his off. Andrew has
I
to
shut mine off for a few minutes.
because it eats the bandwidth on him.
I just shut mine off for a few minutes.
I was just complying with the rules.
Yep.
Well,
Rules? What are
Ralph wants to know how come half of the panels have the cameras off.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. What scale is S scale?
1/64th, isn't it?
Yes, it's slightly smaller than O scale. And at the time, S scale was, S scale is 2 rail, whereas O scale has 3 rail. And a lot of models went to S scale because of the size, as well as the realism of the 2 rail track. Even though it was like metal track, just like O scale, Lionel track, everybody liked the S scale. And they did have their own set of really nice accessories and train sets. And they're one of the few sets that they won. I think S scale was one of the first companies to have that chuffing sound in the steam locomotive.
Yeah, but Joe, isn't there 2 rail also in O scale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that
The
came out
3
later
rail,
on.
the 3 rail is considered Lionel, and then you got 2
Yeah.
rail O scale.
Yeah. Or if you want, the proper term will be high rail today. If you go for 3 rail, and you're looking at NTH trains and Lionel and
027.
27 would be Lionel.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first layout was double O gauge. Because that's all we could get in Australia at the time.
Yeah.
Hornby was 1 and Triangle was yellow.
Which your European double O is close to HO, but it's not quite. It's a little bit smaller, I think, isn't it?
I honestly
Same.
I can't remember. No,
It's like it's really close to the same gauge of track.
yeah, the track's the same. It's the scale.
They're interchangeable.
The track's the same. It's the scale of the rolling stock and trains are different.
Yeah, I think the cars
Yeah,
are a
we're
little bit
one-
bigger. Everything's a little bit bigger in double O, I think it is.
And
Yeah.
here's a comparison. This one is O scale. This is S scale. You can see the width of the wheels. This, they're not far off, but they are different.
Yeah.
So once S scale is smaller than O scale.
Yeah, they won't run on the same track.
You know, Marty would probably be able to tell you the difference between HO and double O. That long ago, I can't remember.
Double O, I think, is like what 1/100th scale, and HO's 1/87.1.
And this is
Because we're not quite 1/87.
and this is O scale. That's
Yeah.
Modern day O scale. I don't even know what company. I think this is Atlas O boxcar.
They got a light in it, or is that just your light reflecting through it?
No, it's a lot reflecting through it.
Okay.
I just worked on the interiors. Weathered it, obviously.
All right, Brian W says double O is 1 to 76.
170. Okay, 176. Because our track is actually set up on a 3 millimeter gauge, or 3.5 millimeter gauge, to 1 foot. So we're actually 187.08571, which is rounded up to 187.1, which a lot of people just drop the 1 off.
I would love to get into narrow gauge. There's some beautiful equipment out there. I need the room, and what I mean I need the room is I could build in a small space like this, but if I'm going to do narrow gauge, I'm going to do it right, and that's a lot of scenery, big mountains, cliffs.
And see, supposedly from what I was reading the other day, the O27 is made off of the fact that the curve radius are 27 inches.
Pretty much 27.
Yeah, but Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, remember, bigger is not necessarily better.
Just how you use it.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Where's my copper screen
I
at
love doing
again?
scenery, so if I'm going to do narrow gauge, it's got to be something. It has to be certain vignettes with a lot of scenery work, a lot of rock cuts and tunnels, bridges.
Yeah, because if you're going to do narrow gauge, you're pretty much in the mountains or, into a lumber industry.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably do it in this space, but I won't do it justice. That's my only point. If I'm going to do narrow gauge, that scenery has to be ceiling to the floor.
Yeah, you want to do Don Armstrong now.
Yep, absolutely. I think I watched his layout on repeat over and over again.
Well, there's Mr. Rude.
You guys are over here making me cringe.
Well,
I have to set the record straight.
We had to do something to get you in here.
Well, I know you missed me and everything. You guys are partially right with what you're saying.
You need to put the phone closer.
I said you guys are partially right by what you're saying. 3RL O scale. There's high rail. High rail is considered scale. Okay? Then you get into O27, which is like kind of what Joe's talking about, where you're non-scale, it's more of the toy train stuff. Then you get into pin plate, 3RL O scale. Okay? So there's the line. So high rail is scale, O27 is more toy train, and then you also have the tin plate. When it comes to S scale was really started by American Flyer. American Flyer is currently owned by Lionel. As far as I'm aware, as far as mainstream manufacturers, Lionel is the only one that produces S scale. If you go into S scale, you're more than likely going to get into brass because a lot of the stuff is like everything else, like with O and 3 and 2-rail O. Now, 2-rail O scale is another thing that now what a lot of the guys in 2-rail O scale are doing is they're buying 3-rail high rail equipment and they're regauging it. So what happens is because 3-rail O scale is the width of the rail is wider than normal 2-rail O. So what they'll do is they'll regauge them in a little bit and redo all the electronics or run a DCC because 3-rail O is proprietary command systems. most of the diesels anymore that you buy in 3-rail O scale, you could easily convert. The problem is the steam locomotives, because now you have to remachine the whole drivers and use a pull tool. Because when I went to the O scale convention, I think it was maybe a year, 2 years ago. I went to a clinic, and one of the guys who majorly does all the conversions for these guys, you're looking at $500 a steam locomotive to convert to 2-rail.
Huh.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Just
Or Lionel Vision Line for 1,500.
well, you know, when you come to Pennsylvania, you look me up, and we'll show you how one Vision Line's about.
Yeah. Got a question here from
Let me know,
Dave.
man.
Got a question here from Dave BNSF. Is there any narrow gauge S scale?
Yes, there's SN3.
SN3, okay.
I don't know if like O is probably the most. I would say O narrow gauge and HO narrow gauge are probably the two most popular gauges for narrow gauge, because in O you get O and 3, O and 30. I think there's O and 2, and there's O and 18, I believe. I only, because I do narrow gauge too. I've only ever seen SN3. I'm sure there's somebody that made something that's SN2 or SN18, but I don't think there's anything readily available. I know in the narrow gauge gazettes, there's always a company that does SN3 locomotives and products. But again, now you're talking brass. You're talking money, big money. But yeah, there's S narrow gauge, and actually, if you go online and you follow Johnny, remind me, who's the guy from Canada that does all the videos on operations?
Chris Lyon.
Yes, thank you. Chris Lyons has a video of. There's a guy in Canada who does SN3 because he models the Rio Grande, one of the Rio Grande Western, or did the Denver Rio Grande, and he does SN3.
All right. Since we got you on here, Kevin Jones asks, who bought S helper service?
S helper service?
Yeah.
I don't know the brand personally.
Yeah.
I only know American Flyer.
Yeah.
I know American Flyer they came out probably post-war in that period, maybe before the war. I don't know if Joe maybe might know that a little better than me, but I have a Gilbert American Flyer set that it's been in my family, but I just know of American Flyer being the main one that was mainstream S scale brand back in the day.
Made by AC Gilbert.
Yes.
In New York. Connecticut.
I think it ran on AC power. I'm not sure. I don't know if those locomotives ran on DC or AC, because I mean 3-rail O still runs on AC power, unfortunately. But
they were the biggest competitor. Well, during competition pre-war, you had American Flyer, Lionel, Ives, Dorfan. I think Dorfan Ives became American Flyer, on the American Flyer, and then once HO really came into play, then O scale kind of took a back burner for a while. Because O scale, the thing is, Lionel was the only competitor. Well, Lionel was the only post war. You had a lot of beautiful sets, and then when you got into, I think, the late '70s, early '80s, everything was cheap plastic looking. A lot of people weren't buying it because the realistic stuff was the HO stuff for now, and N scale that came out. Well, it was the '90s when Neil Young took over. No, PC something, right?
I got two here. Ralph was saying Lex Parker, Chris. And Kevin.
Lex Parker does O and 3.
Yeah.
There's another guy up there that does S and 3.
Yeah. Well, that's what Lloyd said.
I'll remember his name in just a second.
Kevin. Let's see. Okay, Kevin said, according to Google, MTH bought them in 2013. That means MTH has S scale tooling. Are they producing anything?
Not yet.
I don't know MTH. I don't know MTH producing reproductions of pre-war, but I don't think S scale. I haven't
Only
been
in
in O
O
scale market
Yeah,
in
only in
years.
O scale.
Yeah.
Only in O scale. They haven't done nobody's brought the S scale market to fruition. You've had Raisin River Brass and a few others who have made a few small S scale contributions in locomotives, but they've been small and small runs of very, very expensive locomotives. S scale's great, it just isn't making it.
Yeah, a lot of brass. Lots
Yep.
of brass. There's been a lot of conflict over the years, obviously, between Lionel and MTH. What happened was MTH made a deal with Lionel. So MTH makes the Lionel template sets that has Lionel's name on them. So like what Joe showed you guys before. But MTH does a lot more than just, they do HO, obviously, you guys know that. And I'll explain that to you. They're in the G scale. I've never seen them do anything in S.
For Chris, this is for everybody. Toyman Television had a video of Doug and Tiffany Jolly's Denver Rio Grande layout. That's S3, and it's, I don't know if it's hard to see. It's right there. I don't know. I know it's backwards, but if you look on Toyman Television, it's called Doug and Tiffany Jolly's Denver Rio Grande Western Third Division. It came out a month ago, and that's a super impressive SN3 layout.
It has that flying truss bridge that they put in the. It's a cool layout.
Yeah.
Kevin said that August 30th, 2019, MTH Electric Trains published its 2019-2020 S gauge catalog to the MTH website.
Well, there you go. That's what happens when you Google it.
Yeah. I've been out of it. MTH was my favorite company for a long time. I had a Lionel set and MTH set, and bought MTH trains for years until I got into Atlas. Then
Atlas. I have some Atlas stuff, and Atlas is very nice. It's very. It is, but they haven't been really producing any locomotives. From what I've watched, they haven't been doing. They've been doing mostly rolling stock.
And MTH has had some quality assurance problems, but O scale took a serious hit a few years ago, which they have several times through the years. But they took a serious hit a few years ago when we lost Weaver, and a few years before that, Red Caboose, and all those. That's right. All those manufacturers have fallen off, and nobody has picked up their product catalogs that I know of. I mean, you haven't seen any of the Weaver or Red Caboose or that stuff come out.
Portion of the Weaver tooling went to Lionel, another half went to Atlas.
Okay, I'd like to see some of their equipment come out. I did some recent research to kind of revisit O scale again, as the 2-rail stuff, but it doesn't matter. 3-rail stuff, change the trucks on it. It's going to be a challenge.
Ralph said Bill Scobie, Chris.
Yes, there it is. Thank you, Ralph.
That's the name I couldn't think of. That's one of my favorite layouts in the country.
Yeah. I think Bill was on Trainmasters too.
He did. Yeah, they did a 2-part or something like that of his.
Yeah.
And Chris Lyon does a bunch of stuff with those.
Yeah, because him and Chris are very good friends, I believe.
Now, SN3 actually has a really strong following because of PBL. SN3 and a couple other companies, San Juan Car Company, which changed a lot a few years ago. San Juan was San Juan Car Company. Now it's the San Juan Model Company, I think, and then the San Juan Car Company under that. But they also bought Grant Line, so the entire Grant Line catalog is all and a couple figures companies. So the San Juan Company has really kind of blown up as a conglomerate that has bought multiple brands and brought them under a single, header. The San Juan Car Company makes SN3 and SN3 trucks. PBL makes most of the locomotives. If you're doing narrow gauge stuff, SN3 might be a preferable way to do it, considering it's only one manufacturer at whatever scale. I mean, in HON3, all you've got's Blackstone. few brass guys, but mostly Blackstone.
All right. Well, we got another comment here from Dave, BNSF. He said Red Caboose N scale is being reworked and released by Fox Valley, and we've already shot our hours. So if anybody's got any closing statements they want to make, now's the time to do it.
I do. I gotta go get it.
Anyway, Marty said SN3 is big in Queensland, as the main line is 3'6".
That
It was
would
my
make sense.
my very first eBay purchase ever, but this is a heavyweight passenger car by Hayline.
By
This was,
who?
Hayline.
K-Line.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I had the original Triple Crown cars from K-Line as well. And
They had a really wide offering of stuff. A few detail upgrades, and they were not bad. Kind of on par with Weaver.
right.
Yeah,
It was a
K-Line
game
did
because even the accessories were realistic.
Yeah.
You got Intermountain too. Intermountain does some O scale.
Yeah, well, Intermountain did the road railers.
Oh,
All right,
really? I hadn't seen those.
Kevin asked, does KD make HON3 cars?
No.
Oh,
Okay,
there's a
so
couple.
anything above HO scale is HO scale and above is done by KD. So Kevin and Dale, who run the KD company, KD, Kevin, Dale, when they split the company, everything HO scale and above is done by KD. Everything below HO scale, which coincidentally is HON3 as well, is Microtrades. So Microtrades does have a little bit of HON3 stuff. I think they used to have more, but that market, had somewhat dried up until Blackstone came back. But I think Microtrades has some new HON3 stuff out now too. But it's all done under the Microtrades brand.
All right, Chris, Dave Piper said it's nice to have some O-gauge discussions. Chris needs to show up more often.
I'm trying here. I'm trying. It's not that I don't want to be around, but unfortunately, life gets in the way.
Yeah, I like doing some old scale discussions. It's been a while for me.
Yeah, and it's not that anybody said anything wrong. It was just to kind of just set the story straight was all.
Oh, I'm sure I said several things wrong. You can't rule that out. As much as I say, some wrong has to be that part
I'll
of
text
it.
you them later.
That'd be good. Thank you. We'll sort it out.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. I'll send you the bill.
Well, in our defense, none of us are O scale.
All right. That's why I'm here. And Joe's here.
All right, Big Bill has posted, so I'll do the reminder. I was going to do it anyway while I ended the show, so I'll go ahead and end it now. But don't forget, January 29th is part 2 of the series. Bigger is not necessary better. And with a special guest appearance. Series 2 and 3 are going to have special guests on those. So be sure and tune in for those. As always, our shows are at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, all of them now, including this show. But, yeah, so next week, 29th, we got Big Bill's series. And then Thursday nights, we'll be back here for the Train Talk show. So hope everybody has a good weekend. Appreciate everybody in chat. Appreciate all y'all coming in. Oh, Andrew popped out. Okay, well, it's good seeing the grumpy Santa Claus. I'll say that since he's not here. Chris, good seeing you.
Thank you.
Need to come on back in some more. Eric, appreciate it. Tim, Joe, Lloyd, Andy.
We get Robert back in here.
So y'all have a good night, and we shall catch y'all a little later. Have a good one.